Omar,
Yes, sir.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have your time. Thanks for sitting down with the Voice newspaper. Tell me a little bit about this latest offering of work, this latest body of work, Love and Beats.
Love in Beats is my 8th studio album. Took me 3 years to make. Co-produced between myself and my brother, the Scratch Professor. And I think it's the most it's more harder in terms of beats, which is why I called it Love in Beats. You know, my stuff is a lot of jazz, funk, rare groove, classical, reggae, Latin influence. But this one has definitely got harder beats because my bro just knows how to kick out them hip hop beats. You know, he was influenced by JDilla in a big way, which you can hear on the tracks on the album. Yeah, it's a nice eclectic mix of tunes, which I hope everybody will enjoy.
You've got a few collaborations on there as well, haven't you? You've worked with a few different people. Talk me through some of those and what inspired you to kind of connect with them on this project.
Well, it was all quite organic in terms of getting to work with the people. It wasn't until I was putting all the tracks together that I realised, oh my God, I've got so many features on it. Starting off with the first track, which is called Vicky's Tune. We got Ty rapping on it and Robert Glasper playing some keys. And it was just, as the tune was building, I actually started writing that song in 2003 when I built this studio. And kind of it just went to the side. I think I did 2 more albums after that, and then rediscovered it a couple of years ago and decided I could do something with this. And Robert Glasper, I always kept bumming into him around the world. Funny enough, in the Philippines and France, in Holland. We always said we were going to work together. And then the last time I caught him, I was like, man, you got to play. Just play on one little thing for me. It took me about a year, I think, finally to get him to play because he's so busy. The man's so popular, because rightfully so. Amazing musician. But when he finally actually sent me the piano piece, he asked me if I like it, and I said, "Yeah, man, of course." I didn't even listen to the tune. You know what I mean? I was just like, I was so happy that he sent it to me, and of course, when I laid it down over the track, it was just perfect. Working with Ty as well is another rapper that I've always been impressed by for a long time, and we just had to wait for the right project to work on, and it was right to work on that. We got Natasha Watts singing on a track called Insatiable. She brought that tune to my attention as well because it was produced by a guy called Richard Earnshaw. And as soon as I heard the music, I was like, I can make something out of this, make a proper tune, and the rest is history. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, go for it. Because I know you got the flow assist on there as well. You've got
flow assist. That was another thing. Like, basically, what I want to say is that all the people that are on this album were meant to be there. I wrote these songs at different stages of my life, not all necessarily in the last 3 years, which is how long it's been since the previous album. But when we kind of started building the tracks, there came a point where it sounded like they needed to be on it. Flow Assist was perfect for Feeds My Mind. I mean, you hear the poem that she kicks on that track. It's just flat out like it was meant for that song. You know what I mean? Leon Ware, his song "Rocking You Eternally" is the backbone of "Gave My Heart." So from that, I wrote my brother did the beat. He rearranged the strings. I wrote the song. Then I said to Leon, "You got to come and sing this with me." You know what I mean? And when you hear him, everybody's telling me it sounds like Marvin Gaye. So
obviously Leon has been involved with some classic artists.
Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Minnie Riperton. The list goes on and on and on. I knew the dude for like a year before I even knew what he did.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's how me and him got close and got on. Just as like soulmates, you know what I mean? And then to find out what he did and to be able to work with him was such a blessing.
Special, yeah.
As well. Myra Andrade is another talented Latin vocalist, amazing singer. And it was, us hanging out in Paris that we got to write the song Deja Vu. Jean-Michel Rotin is from Guadeloupe. I was there for a hot minute doing a couple of shows. We went to the studio, started a beat, and then came back with the song Destiny. You know, hanging out in Bali, I met a guy called Maurice Brown, amazing rapper and amazing trumpeter as well. And he had this beat going on. I was like, man, I need to get that one. There's something I want to tell you, but I can't tell you on camera, so I'll tell you after.
Make sure.
How about that one?
But I mean, but it sounds like it was really all organic then, pulling this project together. It wasn't really contrived or constructed in any way. It was like...
Not really. I would hope that you would hear the, what's the word? It's the authenticity of the feelings coming out of the music. You know what I mean? The track with my daughters called Girl Talk on it. It was just a simple thing. My brother was playing some music and I was like, I can hear you talking going over that. No, I didn't know what I was going to do, what we were going to talk about or anything. But just one day, while I sat at the table with my daughters and their mother, we were all having a conversation and we were playing that game, Would You Rather? I don't know if you're aware of this one. This is what kids play. Would you rather eat a bucket of sick or get slapped in the head? That kind of thing. And out of that, this conversation came, and then I played it over the top of the music, and it fit. Now every time I hear that track, either I cry or I laugh. Do you know what I mean? Because it's an emotional thing, and that's the kind of thing that I want for people to get from my music. You know what I mean? That's something that's going to move them. That they're not just going to be, it's in the background. This is something that they're going to be paying attention to.
That leads me on to my next question then, because what at this stage of your career, 33 years in the game, what are you making music for, Omar? Yourself, your fans, like to create a new audience? I mean, what's the motive, mate?
Firstly for myself, because, my art is about expression. It's about expressing yourself. And I can't lay down a beat or chord pattern or vocals or bass or keys or whatever without feeling the music. You know what I mean? So I have to feel it first and foremost. My first single that I ever made in 1984, I hated it after 2 weeks. I hate it with a passion. Something
artists say all the time.
Well, some people, they hate a tune and it becomes number one. It wasn't going to be one of those. But I decided from there that I was going to make music that I like, that I'm going to be into. Because you have to perform this music for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So that was the point of me doing that. Now I've forgotten exactly what I was talking about.
You was answering the question about what you make music for, and the fact that you had your stages. You said first it has to be for you, but then.
But then and then of course I want people to like the music, but I kind of sometimes I always put myself in a blues. Like if I can play that tune in a blues dance, and there should be something like that, and people and the lights are off and people are bouncing or
back to the core.
You know what I mean? That if I can do that, then that's what I kind of want to achieve. That's the kind of mindset I put myself in. Obviously, not all my music is like that, but there's certain tunes like the rare groove ones, man. Those are the ones that I want people to get down to.
You're making music of love, right? I get it. Mm-hmm. You recently, well, as we spoke before, we got on camera. You recently went to Dubai, a few other places over the festive season. You're still very, very busy. A track like Nothing Like This, I suppose, will keep you busy in that way, but also the way that new audiences are finding your old music, I suppose that's adding to your wave now, as it were. Yeah. How is that element of your career at the moment, touring? Are you getting busier? Are you slowing down? What's the situation?
No, I'm getting busier. Because everything has changed, the industry's changed since the advance of the internet. It's all about downloads now rather than selling CDs. Vinyl's coming back, which is something else. It's affecting sales, which is fantastic. It's good for me because before people couldn't get hold of my music, you know what I mean? And you only have that the main TV stations, the main radio stations that would be controlling the output of what people would be listening to. Whereas now people can listen to pretty much what they want anywhere they like. You know what I mean? That suits me perfectly because there's people out there that couldn't get hold of my music that can now. And I find that a lot of my income comes from doing shows. You know what I mean? Because CD sales have obviously dropped off. Look how many CD shops we got left. So it kind of works for me perfectly, because before it used to be you have to pack up a van with some white labels, go drive up and down the country and try and sell them at the record stores, which you don't have to do now. You know, it's really good, and I'm finding that, you know, whatever country I go to, there's somebody that knows what I do, knows my music, and that's a blessing, man. Absolutely.
Stevie Wonder, Erykah Badu, Angie Stone, Maxwell. I mean, there's some huge names that have endorsed you and your music over the years. So I wonder, is there any part of you that feels you should have been a bigger artist than you currently are?
Not really. I won't change anything for the world, you know, because that's what made me the person that I am. And it's given me the experiences that I've been through. It's made me make the music that I've made. You know, if things have been slightly different, if I got, you know, when I was 16, I got an offer to have like a little tiny record deal. I go to the States and, you know, do a little touring and do some writing out there. But at the time, I chose to go back to school. I chose to stay in school. I went to Cheetham School of Music in Manchester. And it's just that, you know, that was the path that I chose. Maybe if I had done that, who knows what kind of music I would have made now. Maybe I would have got lost in the, you know, the tons of people making music, and I maybe have made bland music, and maybe my hair would have been different. Or, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Obviously, you've been around for a while. So, what are the major differences that you see in the music business? Because few have your perspective. Let's keep it straight. Right. What are the major differences that an aspiring artist has to deal with now that you didn't when you were cutting your teeth, and pros and cons of the industry then, now? I mean, just give us a comparison.
Well, a lot of people can handle their product and their artistry, whatever, before they get discovered. You know what I mean? People are getting discovered off the backs of their, you know, YouTube hits or Facebook likes and Instagram likes or things like that. Where I think that's more healthy in terms of the output, in terms of the product that you're putting out there, because there's no A&R man trying to say to you, right, you need to sound like this. This is what's happening now. You need to do this kind of thing. People are actually doing their own thing, and you know it's worked around the other way. Getting paid for it is the sticky subject, basically. You know what I mean? Because I hear about people say they don't like people downloading for free because that affects their sales. But, you know, some people that I know, it's funny because they can't build their second swimming pool next to the tennis court. That's what they're complaining about, you know what I mean? Because other people still make their money, but they'll probably do it by doing live shows and selling the CDs or the T-shirts or the key rings or the condoms or whatever you need to sell. You know what I mean? Whatever your merchandise is. You have to change your way of thinking. And that's for people that grew up in my time. Whereas the kids now, they know they kind of know what they're doing. And I think, I like the sound of the music that I hear, because it does sound more like it's them, rather than they've been manufactured. I mean, you still got the boy bands and the girl bands and stuff like that, which is obviously what it is. But there are a lot more kids that are, you know, feeling it, and you can hear it in the music.
So the sound is truer and less,
I think so,
tainted.
It is truer, but there's so many of them. You know what I mean?
I think that's probably that's the biggest difference now, that you can tune into anything you want when you want. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. Which is, I prefer this side of it than how it used to be.
You got nothing like this in you?
What does that mean? Another one?
Yeah, if those tracks come once but a lifetime, are we being greedy? You know, me sitting here saying, have you got another one in you? Because, you know, I listen to artists now and they just want 3.5 minutes like that to define their career and help them be relevant forever. Is it just the one you get? Have you got another one in the tank somewhere? Because you've already told us that you're drawing on tracks that you've done in 2003 for this latest project. So is there another one sitting with a bit of dust on the shelf somewhere?
There's been so many. There's nothing like this since there's nothing like this. Now the fact that they haven't been top 10 or top 20 means fuck all to me. You know what I mean? Because these are the tracks that people come and stop me on the street for, that they come to the shows for. This is why I was naming other things. I got a tune called Tell Me, which every time I sing that out, it kind of goes a bit bigger than There's Nothing Like This, especially in the black dances. You know what I mean? And I've heard of people having to rewind it 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? Right there is your There's Nothing Like This. It don't sound like it, but it's another tune that kind of does that. There's Little Boy, there's Outside, there's It So, there's Sing If You Want It. I mean, I could just pull these tunes out left, right, and centre. You know what I mean? And that's what means more to me than anything else. So if you're saying it in that sense, I've made plenty more There's Nothing Like This.
You know, I said it in that sense because I wanted to know what, you know, your thoughts were on people who thought that.
You know, it's funny. I had somebody put up a thing on Facebook that he came to my gig and he's having a good time and all that. And then somebody wrote underneath, so what, did he do nothing like this for an hour and a half?
But you are, for a lot of people, you are just known as that. It's their intro track to you.
I know, well, that's the thing, innit? You know what I mean? I take it with a pinch of salt, man. You know what I mean? There's enough people that know all about all the rest of the music. Yeah. Some people think I've done 2 albums. Some people have done 3, some 4. You know what I mean? Not everybody knows I've got 8 right now. You know what I mean? And that's nothing, man. As long as you got a little inroad or an introduction to it, then you can find out about the rest if you like. You know what I mean? It's no big thing. It's no big thing.
How would you like the latest offering to be received? Obviously, you touched on it earlier in regards to people just, you know, accepting it for what it is. But what ideally would you like?
How they're receiving it right now is kind of like how I'd hope it would be. You know, because people are getting excited about it. It's not even here yet, but people are hearing the little tidbits and the words going round. You know, everything. From the artwork to the lyrics to the music that they've heard, it's just phenomenal. I couldn't wish for better, really. There
was definitely some thought into the artwork. What was the motivation behind that? What was the influence?
Basically, Dan Lish, amazing artist. His daughter goes to the same school as my daughters, and we just got talking one day, and he was telling me that he'd just done the thing of JDilla. First of all, I was like, wow. And when I saw that, I was like, wow. And then he showed me something of Robert Glasper. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see him tonight. So I got the ting of him as well. And it was just a little brain thing in my head that just went front cover, man. Do you know what I mean? Because I've done portraits and pictures for the other 7. I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I just said to him, you know, just do what you want, kind of thing. And the first thing he came up with just blew my brain. You know what I mean? So it was just perfect. You know, I'm thinking of Marvin Gaye's, what's the album cover? It's animated.
I'm not sure. I know the one you're talking about.
You know, that it was that kind of in that vein that I was thinking it'd be nice to do that because it kind of tells a story as well. And you see the picture of myself, and then there's my brother in the background. His dreads are leads. And then you see my daughters as well. It kind of encapsulates exactly what this album's about. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, they're much better than a studio shot, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, man, definitely. I see that you're going to be performing with Courtney Pine at the Barbican.
Yeah.
Coming up. Legend.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I got a bow to him as well. I'm an MBE, but he's a CBE. Right. So I'm a member, he's a commander. Yeah.
Then I salute the order. We interviewed Soweto Kinch recently, and he, you know, kind of credited Courtney as being a real tremendous influence on his career. I mean, how was, you know, a guy like that influenced you over the years?
Oh, we go way back, you know. We actually worked on a tune together probably 20 years ago. Right. Called Give or Take a Few, and from that, you know, we've always been admiring each other. You know, Jazz Warriors and all that. That was part of when I was at college. So it's always, you know, I've always seen them guys and you know, used various musicians to play my stuff. But Courtney was one that I wanted to get on a project with, and it just seemed to be right this year to do something. So I've done 4 tracks on his new album, which is going to be released on Freestyle, who I'm also signed to at the moment. So they're coming out with some pretty good music at the moment. And they've just signed Carleen Anderson as well. Okay. So there's a lot of us old school people that are coming out with some new stuff, man. You still got it. You still got to put it out there.
No, definitely. It sounds like you're going to be busy this year.
Absolutely. I intend to, you know. Give thanks that I'm still here making music, that people still want to listen to the music. That's why I built this studio, so I could be unfettered and just be able to create when I want to. wanted to, you know. So yeah.
I mean, my last question: you've performed all over the world, you know, with so many people. Is there anywhere that you still got on your bucket list, your tick list, that you want to go and?
Anywhere?
Yeah.
Cuba, I think.
You've not done Cuba.
Never not done Cuba. Never been to Cuba. But my grandmother was born in Havana.
Right.
And you know, the music, salsa is something. You know, that's something that's, I think, entrenched in my music. I didn't know that until I found out my grandmother was born there. So yeah, it'd be something like a pilgrimage to go there.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck with everything, and thanks for your time. Really appreciate that. No worries.